Imagine a world without bees, birds, or fish. What does that picture look like to you? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? A world suddenly devoid of the chirping birds that greet us every morning, the bees that tirelessly work to pollinate our flowers and crops, and the fish that populate our rivers and oceans. Let's take a closer look at the role each of these creatures play. Bees, for instance, are the world's most important pollinators of food crops. It's estimated that 1/3 of the food that we consume each day relies on pollination, mainly by bees. Without them, our diets would look significantly different and far less nutritious. Birds, on the other hand, play a crucial role in seed dispersal, which helps in the regeneration of forests. They also control pests by feeding on insects, thus maintaining a balance in the ecosystem. Their melodious songs and vibrant colors bring joy to many, but their ecological significance goes far beyond that. Fish, with their incredible diversity, are a vital part of marine and freshwater ecosystems. They contribute to nutrient cycling and help maintain the health of coral reefs. For millions of people around the world, fish are also a primary source of protein and livelihood. Now imagine if one of these species were to disappear. The impact would reverberate through the food chain, disrupting ecosystems and throwing off the delicate balance of nature. The loss of bees would mean the decline of plants that rely on them for pollination. The extinction of certain bird species could lead to an overpopulation of insects and a lack of forest regeneration. A world without fish would spell disaster for marine ecosystems and the human communities that rely on them. This is the reality we face if we continue to ignore the plight of these creatures. The consequences of mass animal collapse are far-reaching, affecting not just the animal kingdom, but human life as well. So as we move forward, let's remember the importance of every creature in our ecosystem and strive to protect them. For their survival is intricately tied to ours. Understanding the causes of mass animal collapse helps us comprehend the gravity of the situation. Let's kick off with habitat destruction. This occurs when natural environments are transformed or eradicated, often due to human activities like deforestation or urban development. Imagine the Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the earth. It's shrinking at an alarming rate, leaving countless species homeless and many on the brink of extinction. Climate change is another significant cause, and it's unfolding on a global scale. Rising temperatures, erratic weather patterns, and melting ice caps are just a few ways that climate change threatens wildlife. Picture the polar bears in the Arctic. The sea ice they depend on for hunting and breeding is rapidly disappearing, pushing them closer to extinction. Next, we have pollution. It's not just about litter on the streets or plastic in the oceans. Air and water pollution from industrial activities can cause harmful changes to ecosystems, impacting the animals that live there. The North Atlantic right whales, for instance, are exposed to high levels of toxic chemicals, reducing their fertility and lifespan. Overfishing is another cause. It's not just about depleting fish stocks, but also disrupting the balance of marine ecosystems. The Atlantic bluefin tuna, for example, is overfished to the point of being endangered. Their decline has a ripple effect on the food chain, affecting other species too. Lastly, disease can lead to mass animal collapse. Pathogens, often spread through human activity or climate change, can wipe out entire populations. The deadly chytrid fungus, for example, has caused the decline or extinction of at least 200 species of frogs. The causes are many, and they all lead to one devastating outcome: the collapse of animal populations. Each one of these causes doesn't just affect the individual species involved, but the entire ecosystem they're part of, and ultimately, the planet we all call home. The effects of mass animal collapse are far-reaching and distressing. This phenomenon doesn't just impact the wildlife we cherish, but it fundamentally alters the delicate balance of our environment, other species, and indeed our own human life. Take, for example, the humble bee, a tiny creature with an enormous role. Bees, along with other pollinators like butterflies and birds, are the unsung heroes of our food production process. They help to pollinate over 70 out of the top 100 crop species that feed 90% of the world. So, when these pollinators are in decline, it's not just the flowers in your garden that will miss them, it's also the apples in your grocery stores and the almonds in your granola. On the other side of the scale, consider the loss of predators. Predators like wolves, lions, and sharks are not just symbols of the wild, they're crucial regulators of their ecosystems. Their presence keeps the populations of other species in check, preventing overpopulation and ensuring the balance of the ecosystem. Without these predators, we may see an explosion in the number of certain species, and this can lead to overgrazing or overfishing and ultimately the decline of other species. But it's not just about bees and wolves or any single species, it's about the intricate web of life that connects us all. Our ecosystems are not standalone entities but interconnected systems, where the loss of one species can disrupt the entire network. And let's not forget about us humans. We rely on these ecosystems for our food, our water, our air, and countless other services that nature provides. When these systems are disrupted, it's not just the animals that suffer. Our food security is compromised, our health is at risk, and our very survival is at stake. The effects of mass animal collapse are not just confined to the animal kingdom. They ripple through the entire ecosystem, disrupting the balance of life. Preventing mass animal collapse is a responsibility we all share. Species conservation is one of the most effective ways to prevent mass animal collapse. By preserving habitats and creating sanctuaries, we can provide safe spaces for animals to thrive. Conservation also involves protecting endangered species from poaching and illegal wildlife trade. Remember, every creature, no matter how seemingly insignificant, plays an essential role in the ecosystem. Sustainable practices, too, are instrumental in preventing mass animal collapse. This includes everything from our dietary choices to the products we buy. By choosing to consume less meat, we can reduce the demand for factory farming, a significant contributor to habitat loss. Opting for products that are sustainably sourced and produced can also make a difference. Even small changes in our daily lives can have a significant impact on the health of our planet and its inhabitants. Awareness campaigns are another powerful tool in our arsenal. By educating ourselves and others about the importance of biodiversity and the consequences of mass animal collapse, we can inspire change. Knowledge is power, and the more people understand the urgency of the situation, the more likely they are to take action. The role of communities and governments in preventing mass animal collapse cannot be overstated. Communities can lobby for the protection of local ecosystems and participate in citizen science projects. Governments, on the other hand, can enact and enforce laws that protect wildlife and their habitats. They can also invest in research and technology that can aid in conservation efforts. Preventing mass animal collapse is not just about protecting animals. It's also about preserving the intricate web of life that sustains us all. The loss of even a single species can have far-reaching effects on an ecosystem and ultimately on our own survival. So let's make a conscious effort to be more sustainable, to educate ourselves and others, and to advocate for policies that protect our planet's diverse fauna. Because each one of us has a role to play in preventing mass animal collapse. The survival of countless species depends on our actions. The consequences of mass animal collapse are a pressing matter that requires immediate attention. This statement has served as our guiding principle throughout this discussion, and it's one we cannot afford to forget. We've journeyed through the depths of this complex issue together, unpacking the causes, effects, and potential solutions to this growing crisis. The reasons behind mass animal collapse are manifold: habitat loss, climate change, pollution, and overexploitation. These factors, often driven by human activities, have created a domino effect, leading to an alarming decline in our planet's biodiversity. And the effects of this collapse? They're far-reaching and deeply interconnected. The loss of species is not just an ecological disaster, but also a threat to our own survival. Pollinators, for instance, play a vital role in food production. Without them, our food systems would crumble. Ecosystem engineers like beavers and elephants shape our landscapes, influencing water availability and climate regulation. Their loss would drastically alter our world. But amidst this gloomy picture, there is hope. We've discussed various ways to prevent mass animal collapse, from supporting conservation efforts to reducing our ecological footprint. And this is where you come in. Each one of us, in our own little ways, can make a difference. It could be as simple as making more sustainable lifestyle choices, supporting local wildlife conservation initiatives, or raising awareness about this issue in our own circles. The road to recovery is long and arduous, but every step counts. It's not just about saving animals. It's about preserving the intricate web of life that sustains us all. Remember, we are a part of this web, not apart from it. In closing, let's revisit the opening thought. The future of our planet's biodiversity hangs in the balance. The time to act is now. The decisions we make today will shape the world we leave behind for future generations. Let's make sure it's a world teeming with life, diversity, and beauty, because in the end our survival depends on theirs. The future of our planet's biodiversity hangs in the balance. The time to act is now.